So the Office of the Auditor General, they go on the ground. Right now they are going around to check on how resources are being utilized for the year 2024. Always a year behind. So we rely on the Office of the Auditor General, and is also applying our individual experiences to further interrogate how these resources are being utilized. And we are guided by a lot of statutes and regulations from the Ministry of Local Government itself, that there is this regulation. Such payments cannot be done unless such thing is done. We see quite disheartening. You find some councils making a payment without being audited. Deliberately, they get millions and for themselves without following procedure. But we have tried. We cannot say we are doing the best. We have tried to ensure that we expose such malpractices so that this country can benefit. The vision of the president and the government can be fulfilled. The vision of the president is to ensure that the communities are transformed. Just imagine 30.6 million or 30.1 million. It's a lot of money for a constituency. It can change lives. The children who are supposed to be trained free of charge because they're coming from vulnerable families. The children who have been sitting on the floor now can sit on the desks. Have the councils procured the desks? So all these things, you find that there is a transformation across the country. Imagine that we are prudent to the last coin. All the monies are accounted for, projects are procured, implemented, commissioned, everything is done properly. Imagine the next 10 years, this country will never be the same. I think this is what has been missing. So CDF is critical, it's huge. So this committee, the Local Government Accounts Committee, is merely ensuring that local authorities or resources are utilized according to the intention and the policy of government. And if this is done, the people of Zambia are beginning to see. So we can do better, because there are certain people, you know, where society is, there are certain people who would want to frustrate, but there are certain people who have demonstrated. I can tell you, there are certain councils who have come out shining in the implementation of the CDF, even in the operations. But there are certain councils who still have the tradition and culture or attitude of wanting not to live by the directions or directives of government. This is the role of the committee, and we have also appreciated that Parliament TV, if there was no Parliament TV, all this exposure was not going to be there. So the idea of Parliament TV and beaming these sessions that we are having, it has brought awareness and it has exposed a lot of people. Now what the people are talking about is that, yes, we have seen and they have confirmed that what you are saying, what the auditors picked and what this committee is talking about is correct, is happening here. Now what is the next action? But it's not for our committee. Our committee is to make recommendations on behalf of Madam Speaker. It's Madam Speaker's committee. So we are trying with the expertise that we have, with our background, to ensure that we go further. There's a lot of cheating by local authorities. Doctoring documents. It's quite saddening, Matimba, that you can, they can sit and manufacture fake documents Are they trying to deceive this committee? The answer is no.
He takes us behind the scenes of a typical hearing, describing who appears before the committee and the type of information they are expected to provide before the committee.
The people who appear are council employees, led by, if it's a municipal or city council, the town clerk will be the lead person. He will come with directors, engineering, all the directors, and the other focus is on the procurement team, the legal department, the director legal, because contracts are scrutinized by legal department. We also have planners who plan, and the critical office is the office of the director engineering. Those are the people who come up with the engineer's estimates as to how much this project would cost. So the overpricing of the projects, it hinges on the competences and the attitude of the engineers working together with procurement officers. So procurement officers, auditors, directors of finance, planners, engineers, and of course the administrative team to look at the management of the whole process, led by their town clerk or the council secretary. Also, you have legal people now that the commission has done very well to include legal officers in all the councils. Because we have certain contractors who have been taking advantage of this, certain contractors in the northwestern province and in the northern province, where they would get contracts in almost all the councils. 6 to 7 councils, same contractor would be given a contract, and that contractor would abandon the works, and you find that that contractor is sometimes, in certain cases, paid 95% of the money without doing anything, and they are using some insurance company. Strange, those insurance companies who have recommended they need to be checked. Those who do not even commit to pay the liquidated damages for non-implementation of the project. And it is happening, another contractor in northwestern province. So we are able to check why this contractor, wherever this contractor, it means there's collusion between engineering and the procurement officers in these councils. So there's a lot of collusion, using certain contractors to siphon money for CDF meant for the vulnerable people in the constituencies. So we have made these observations, and it is the view of this committee that stern action should be taken against aiding officers for us to bring sanity, order in the running of councils. It's not about CDF only. Morally, when you're an officer, even me as a member of parliament, I should be doing the correct thing. Why should I go against the expectations of the public?
Mr. NYAMBOSE reflects that some officials may appear nervous or uncomfortable during hearings, often due to unpreparedness, fear of public scrutiny, or the pressure of being held accountable for financial decisions.
When you see, you know that the person you are dealing with maybe knows more about you, you become nervous because you know what you have done. It's only wrongdoers who become nervous. When you follow everything you are doing correctly, you don't become nervous. I think most of them is an issue of knowing that we have not been doing the correct thing. And these people, they know the regulations. Sometimes they know the wrong things that they are doing. Some of them, it could be genuinely being nervous because the first time coming to parliament. But majority of them is they know the wrong things that they have been doing. So it's quite interesting, but I've always encouraged them that if you don't need to expose yourselves in this nature. Go and do the correct thing, Matimba. Right now, they're supposed to utilize the CDF. Assuming they are doing the correct things, are they going to appear before the committee? The answer is no. So they can avoid that by doing the correct things, so that when auditors visit them, they'll find that everything is okay, like some of the councils now are going towards that direction.
When the committee flags issues or concerns, Mr. NYAMBOSE explains that its findings are forwarded to relevant authorities for action. Although the committee does not have the power to enforce changes directly, its report hold considerable influence and result in corrective measures by those responsible.
We cannot compare. We just recommend. We cannot enforce. The law doesn't permit us. But in other jurisdictions we hear, is it in Uganda or other countries? Because these things border on some of them criminal activities where people misapply deliberately. They conduct themselves financial misappropriations and what, which border on crime. There's nothing that we can do as a committee. The beauty is that the public now is able to see. Parliament has done its part. It is the law enforcement agencies that are supposed to pick up the matter. And it is taking long when we make follow-ups to see if the action has been taken. You find it's taking long. How I wished that offices, the office of the Local Government Service Commission, instead of transferring erring officers from one council to another, they should be taking action, decisive. Fire a few officers to send a signal that would deter would-be offenders. But we are not seeing this. It's unfortunate. I always tell people that do have the heart for your own country. But the people who can develop this country is ourselves. We are lucky to have a government that is giving resources for you. Actually, those resources are not given to them. They have been given work to do. It was difficult during our time when I was in local authority. The relevance of the local government the system was not being felt by the Zambian people. Because councils had no money. They were given less. And the other thing, Matimba, I can talk about is people should invest in knowing what is a local authority. Why is it created? When you go back to the basics, see the role of the local authority, you understand that this is the only time that we have come now to see that councils are playing a critical role in developing this country. They are actually now taking back their role. Those days when we were there, when you talk about you working for the councils, everyone's there is even if you are not getting paid, they are doing nothing. Because the communities that are there to be saved by the councils, we are not getting anything. This time, the council can decide through CDF to buy refuse trucks to collect garbage in Osaka, to collect garbage in the cities. Councils can decide, already they have bought road making equipment. So people are now seeing the true and the actual role of the local authority. So it is the money now. We need to deal with the attitude of the council employee who have taken CDF as a supplementary role, not supplementary really, as a by the way, not knowing that it's the main function of the council to ensure that roads are done, water is provided in the communities, garbage is collected, street lighting, all this. But we need to inculcate in their minds. Yes, it may take time, but 4 years is too much a time that we can't see change. But we have a good government that has continued giving resources. So we should take advantage. Slowly we are seeing some of the councils now realizing and demonstrating that they have what it takes to do the work. In the olden days, Matimba, if I can conclude on this one, you don't need to find a council employee unless there's a council meeting or there's a senior important dignitaries or maybe coming to visit to be in a suit. Engineering department, planners are supposed to go and monitor the projects, and you don't monitor in a suit because you're wrong. You spend more time in the field to see that CDF is being implemented and done properly. But the city councils, they want just to be in the council. They have no regard. I will give an example. It was strange when we found one council, because of collusion, using a former CDF chairperson to be signing. They have not changed that the bank, the signatories. They have elected a new one, they don't change. They use that user-friendly person. So this committee is trying its best. I know we have our own weaknesses here and there. This is human, it's normal, but we are trying our best.
From a public accountability perspective, Mr. NYAMBOSE points out that the committee's findings strengthen local governance and help improve service delivery in communities.
The benefits are there to be seen by the people in our communities. This route we have taken of holding councils accountable, the benefits are being seen by the communities. We have seen enhanced monitoring, and we have seen speedy. Right now, if you see the councils, they have upped their game. The work culture is changing because they fear to come and be exposed. So the benefits are with the people. We want to see, as espoused by the president, a project financed, money is available. Within 2 months, children are learning in a classroom block. People have a health center closer to them, and they've got desks in the schools. They've got houses and water, every health center, health post. They've got maternity as directed by the president, maternity annexes or buildings done in every health post. Within a short period of time, the people now are excited. In the bush, you have running water powered by solar system. So this is what the people want. So these interventions and the interrogations that we have been doing as a committee, the benefit is now being seen by the Zambian people on the other side. So this is, I feel that this is the way to go. But we do not take pleasure. Because some of the things we, instead of managing ourselves as a committee members, sometimes we burst out. Even myself, I ask, but this is not possible that you can do this. Why do you do this? You know, I become now not a chair, but sometimes I shift to become another person that I don't believe that someone who is employed can do such things. They have no heart for their country. We need to inculcate a change of work culture in the local authority. Both are key. You cannot implement CDF, you cannot do anything developmental without the local authority. Because some people at a certain point have been saying, I think we have too much of the councils. But you cannot do away with local authorities. Deal with individuals. And now it is the law enforcement agencies, the Ministry of Local Government and Housing, and the Local Government Service Commission to deal with this. They've been following so that the Zambian people say, yes, we complained about this officer, action has been taken. So the person who is going to come in is not going to do the wrong things because of fear to lose that job. I always tell the people that we are just privileged. We're not the best, so other people can take up. Other people better. With better credentials. So when you are privileged, do your best. Even myself here as a member of parliament, if I neglect the people of Chasefu, because I feel now I've reached, tomorrow I will not be there. So I'm just privileged, so I should do the correct thing.
In closing, Mr. Nyambose encourages local authorities and officers to remain committed to transparency, accountability, and professionalism.
My word of encouragement to the local authorities: let us do the correct thing. Each officer, when they leave their home, they are going for work. They know what is expected in their offices. When we do the correct thing, this country will change. There will be no audit queries. The Zambian people expect a lot from us, employees. Let's change the work culture. We have a new government. The policies of the new government, people should change from the previous and ensure that they are not doing it for the new government. They are doing it for the nation, their own country. So my appeal to the council employees, to the local authorities in this country, there is nothing strange. They have got the qualifications, but they've got to demonstrate that their qualifications are helping this country by doing the correct thing, the practical things. So it's an encouragement to them, and we want to see zero audits. Zero audits. Then we are seeing that they are listening, they are human. If at all at certain point we have also missed the point, we are also learning. But my word of encouragement on behalf of the committee, let us do the correct thing. And the time is now to change our work culture and do the correct thing.
That's all that we had for you on today's episode of Insight into Parliamentary Committees. A very special thank you to Mr. MISHECK Nyambose, Chairperson of the Committee on Local Government Accounts and Member of Parliament for Chasefu, for sharing valuable insight into the committee's oversight work. The next episode of Insight into Parliamentary Committees will feature the Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources, chaired by Mr. Kasauta Mijelo, Member of Parliament for Wengwa constituency. My name is Matimba Nkua. On behalf of the entire production crew, keep watching Parliament Television and listening to Parliamentary Radio.
This Friday on Life After Parliament, we feature Mr. Simwinji.
Because of the difficulties in terms of ensuring that constituencies got their rightful share, should I say equitable share of the national resources, we are the people that mooted the idea of Constituency Development Fund.
Join me, Joe Akatama, as I interact with former Naripanda Member of Parliament, Mr. Simwinji, right here on Parliament TV, Life After Parliament program, this Friday at 08 hours. Make a date.
Get ready for the first ever National Assembly of Zambia Football Club Aerobics Mania 2025. Join us on Saturday, 26th of July 2025 at Parliament Buildings starting at 06 hours. This fun-filled fitness event promotes healthy living and supports community initiatives, all to raise funds for the National Assembly of Zambia football team. Registration is open to all, just 100 kwacha per person and 2,500 kwacha for companies. To purchase your tickets, visit the Parliament Building, Parliament Motel, or your nearest constituency office. Be part of this noble cause and join fellow citizens for a morning of energy, unity, and wellness. We will have the 5-kilometer run, 2.5-kilometer walk, and the biggest of them all, the aerobics.
Your health is your wealth!
For details, call 0955 505050, 0966 515356, 0977 562444, or 0977 536487. Don't miss the Nurse FC Aerobics Mania 2025, bringing Parliament closer to the people through sports.
Let's quickly look at business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday. Madam Speaker did make some announcements, and the first announcement that was made by the Right Honourable Madam Speaker was to recognize